Oh, look at this, look at this. Hey, what is up guys? Guitar Rock here, welcome back to another Genshin Impact video. Okay, today I have some Zhongli showcase for you guys. Alright, I managed to get my Zhongli up to level 69. Alright, so this is just the perfect number for me to stop because I don't really have enough resources to push him further. Alright, so of course I will try to get him to 80 as soon as possible, right? But for today, I think I'm just gonna save all my resins because it's the end of the week. I'm trying to get through to the weekly bosses. You know, I still haven't done Storm Terror, still haven't done the Wolf and Charl. So therefore, I think it's much better for me to spend the resin right there, and I'm going to continue farming for resources to basically level up my Zhongli later next week. Alright, so first things first, I think by now all of you might have seen like level 90 or level 80 Zhongli showcase. I've seen quite a lot of those on YouTube. So I thought this is going to be something which is much more achievable for most players with limited resources. Alright, so I do fortunately have this weapon on him. So this gives me very high base attack and crit rate. So this is a 5-star weapon. I got somewhat lucky, okay, and I pulled this in the standard banner. And this is like my first 5-star weapon in the game. Now obviously if you do not have this weapon, alright, my intention was I was gonna probably use this one, the Favonius Lens, and you can see this is refinement rank 2. So if he crit, he can generate a small amount of particles which will generate 6 energy for the character. Now this particular passive skill is quite hard to activate for sure, but even if you can't really activate this energy recharge is going to be more than sufficient enough to give your Zhongli the boost to basically spam your ult more often. Alright, so in terms of stats, this is what I currently have on my Zhongli. I do think he's a little bit lacking in terms of the crit rate. Alright, as you can see, I have 38.7% crit rate, but I have 147.5% crit damage. So this is totally imbalanced. I would prefer to have higher crit rates for consistent high damage rather than you know, like a almost 40% chance to crit, and in this case a ton of crit damage, right? So most of your resources are going to go into geo damage bonus for the goblet. So artifacts wise, I am running 2-piece Noblesse Oblige and 2-piece Archaic Petra. So this is probably the best free to play set you can run on him. If you go like 4 pieces of each of these, it might actually take longer for you to find what you want. I was fortunately have been farming in the domain that drops the Noblesse Oblige for a long time, so I was lucky enough to have this awesome flower right here. So this is probably the best stats you can see in any artifact. Alright, this is like my best artifact ever. Attack percent, crit rate percent, crit damage percent, and HP percent. Alright, and then for the feather, so this one I have a pretty okay one. I wouldn't say this is the best. Alright, HP percent and there's attack percent. I think it rolled a couple of times into elemental mastery and flat defense, which was really annoying. I think once into each of it. So unfortunately, yeah, this will have to do. And then for the Sense of Eon, now this one have crit rate, have defense percent, crit damage percent, and energy recharge percent. So this is actually pretty good. It did roll into defense percent a couple of times, which is unfortunate, but I think this is probably the better ones that I have. Now this one I did not think was good, but of course it has geo damage percent and it's quite hard to get this specific bonus on this goblet. So it does give flat HP and flat attack, but crit damage percent and energy recharge percent is right there as well. And lastly, we have the circlet of logos. So most of my crit damage will be coming from here, as you can see, 51.6% crit damage. Now this is at plus 16 and it's the only artifact that is not plus 20, and the reason why is because it's pretty bad. Alright, it has attack plus 19, elemental mastery plus 21, and it rolled a couple of times into defense flat, which is really unfortunate. I most likely will keep this at plus 16 until I can find a better one. It did not roll anything into crit rate percent at all, which was really unfortunate, but yeah, hopefully I'll get something better in the future. Alright, so with that being said, let's go into some battles and I'm going to show you guys how awesome Zhongli is actually. Alright, so now ideally when it comes to showcase, I would prefer to show the character as it is. I know I've seen some contents on YouTube where players just use like food and they go into domains with, you know, insane buffs. Like some of the Spiral Abyss floors does have insane buffs and stuff like that, right? So I think showcasing Zhongli in the open world, like without any food buffs or anything, is going to be much more accurate in terms of the numbers, so that you guys can hopefully compare with what you guys have. Alright, so let me show first before we proceed. Alright, very important talents. So as you can see, level 2, level 3, level 6. Alright, so this one I can't proceed further unless I reach Ascension Phase 5. Alright, so let's try and get rid of the Chichin Mage. So what you want to do is usually you want to drop the pillar, and then if you have your elemental burst, ideally, immediately you want to use it. Alright, so that is non-crit damage. Alright, she did activate this skill pretty early on. What is happening? Alright, let's do one more ultimate. Okay, so the 16,000 that you guys saw was not a crit. Alright, so I only have like 38% chance to crit. So hopefully we can find a different one right here. Alright, let's fight that Ruin Guard. So if I crit, it usually deals about 30 to 40k damage. And ideally that's how you want to use Zhongli. You just want to be spamming the ultimate all the time. Alright, so I'm gonna use my ultimate. Alright, that rocket did no damage because of Zhongli's shield. Alright, let's use one more Meteor. Alright, so if it crits, it deals about that 41,000, I think what you guys just saw. Pretty substantial amount of damage right there. Okay, so ideally when you use Zhongli, you need to always remember, alright, so this build that I have on Zhongli is actually him as a support burst damage. Alright, when you use him, ideally you want to be using your Q more often. But I think currently my Zhongli lacks a lot in the energy recharge department, so I feel like this is a little bit low, 116%. I think the ideal Zhongli, you want to have at least 150% energy recharge. That's going to charge your energy much more often. Alright, so because he's not going to be on the battlefield for a long time, for example, right now I'm using Klee. So the best way to showcase him is you want to use him first, alright? And then you want to use this pillar down, and then swap to your Klee, swap him and use the E, right? And then by now, after you have hit a couple of times, you should have energy, and then use your Q. And then swap back to Klee, and then repeat that process, right? Because my Zhongli is not built for physical attack. So ideally when he is present in the battlefield, he doesn't really do much, right? Except for when you actually swap him out, you want to constantly be using his skills. Either it's for his E, you know, or to create a shield. And you can see if those things resonate, he does get some energy particles going into him. So yeah, there you have it. Overall, I am actually very happy with how he performs. I don't know why a lot of players say that he's bad. I think maybe they expect him to be a main DPS, but you want to treat him like Venti, for example. He's someone that spams Q all the time. And the best way is to probably build him energy recharge like I mentioned. So I'm probably gonna try to figure out a way to increase my energy recharge. So yeah, overall I think Zhongli is an amazing unit. So if you are willing to give him a chance, I think he can do quite a lot of things. Obviously he's not a child, right? So in terms of main damage dealer, I feel like this is as good as it gets. Alright guys, so that sums it up for the Zhongli level 69 showcase, and hopefully I will get him up to at least level 80 by next week, and then I'll do a second showcase if you guys want me to. As always, let me know what you guys think of Zhongli. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, give this video a like. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day. Goodbye.